It is 4:30. Call the meeting to order and acknowledge that the District of Tofino operates within the territory of the Tla-o-qui-aht First Nation and the office of Tla-o-qui-aht. Notice to attendees that the meeting is being video recorded and will be published in the District of Tofino channel. Notice to virtual attendees to sign up for public comment and question period using the Q&A function. Zoom. To register, participants are required to enter their full name, residential address, and the agenda item they wish to speak to. Through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I'll move that pursuant to section 15 of the District of Tofino Meeting Procedure Bylaw number 1229, 2016 is amended. The August 26, 2025 regular meeting be held electronically via Zoom and live broadcasted on the District of Tofino YouTube channel. That the facility provided for the public to watch and the meeting be located at the Tla-o-qui-aht Center, Computer 380 Campbell Street. See objection. Also, through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I'll move that the August 26, 2025 regular council agenda be adopted. No objections and that motion's carried. Consent agenda. Also through unanimous consent, if there are no objections, I'll move that item 4.5 of the consent agenda of the regular council meeting held August 26, 2025 be approved. C. Objections, that motion is carried. Mayor's report. I have little to report. It's a busy summer. It's coming to a close. Public comment on agenda items. Ms. Larson, do we have public comments? Mr. McCall.
Thank you, Mayor Lai. I'll now do an open call for comments. For those in the gallery who wish to speak, please raise your hand. And if there's anyone online attending via Zoom that would like to make a comment, you can do so now using the Q&A function. Before making a comment, you will need to say your name, your address, and the agenda item you're speaking to. I'll now do a call. Calling once, calling twice, calling 3 times. No comments at this time, Mayor Law.
Thank you, Mr. McCall. No delegations. We have one correspondence. Item 9.1, Village of Lions Bay regarding 2025 UBCM resolutions. We do get letters closer to UBCM and our general practices to allow councillors to vote at the UBCM. So unless there's any objections, we can go on. Any comments from council? Okay. Right on to presentations and reports. We have 10.1 single-use item regulation amendment. We have a report from Corporate Services, Mr. McCall. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm coming to you here today from Legislative Services to provide an update on the single-use item regulation amendment pertaining to plastic water bottles on either and less. Bear with us for a moment. Thank you. So for today's presentation, go through the agenda. So a bit of background on the amendment to legislative authority that applies to council authority to do so, an implementation plan, the delayed effective date, the proposed delayed effective date, and a few corresponding bylaws that I will be seeking authorization to amend. So a bit of background here. As council is familiar, in 2019, Tofino and Q&amp were the first municipalities in British Columbia to have banned single-use plastic straws under bylaw 1277. Then in 2022, Tofino went on to be the first in British Columbia to ban single-use plastic utensils. Also, other items that are in this parent bylaw 1277 include single-use plastic bags and polystyrene foodware. Then fast forward to 2023, Surfrider came to council with a delegation to propose a plastic water bottle ban. And in their delegation, they referenced their multiple years of beach cleanups, the alternative uses or water sources, including water refill stations. And they noted there are over 70 compliant businesses that already observe the ban of not selling single-use plastic water bottles 1 liter and less. And then in 2023, staff came back to council outlining their legislative authority for this prohibition. And in 2024, staff returned to council with a bylaw that had a legal review on it, and council read 3 readings on that bylaw. So just because council has not seen this bylaw in over a year, I thought I'd review the amendment for council. So it's a prohibition to sell single-use plastic water bottles 1 liter and less. There are several exemptions in the bylaw that council read at 3rd reading, including mobility and accessibility use cases, stage 3, water conservation and beyond, emergency operations center activations, states, local, provincial, and federal emergencies, and posted notices by the municipality. The exemptions also include the bottles sold in multiples or formats. Again, a reminder for council, the legislative authority that the province provides to municipalities through the community charter at section 8 sub 3 sub J, wherein a council may by bylaw regulate, prohibit, or impose requirements in relation to protection of the natural environment. However, there are several areas wherein the province recognizes their interest in matters dealt with bylaws referred to in sections 9.1, including health, the environment, and wildlife. For these matters, a council may not adopt a bylaw unless they seek approval in several other ways, the most common being seeking approval from the appropriate provincial ministry. So after a year and a half of responding to questions and corresponding with policy analysts and staff at the province, on July 24th of this year, the district received a letter from the Honourable Minister Davidson of the Environment and Parks approving the bylaw, providing council with the legislative authority to formally adopt and implement the bylaw. In her letter, Minister Davidson commended Tofino Council on taking leadership on this issue and thanked Tofino for their work to reduce single-use plastics. And then here on a historic note, if council does proceed with adopting the bylaw this evening, it would be the first municipality in Canada to do so. So, implementation plan for the bylaw. If council chooses to adopt tonight, staff are recommending a delayed effective date to April 22nd, 2026. And this provides staff with 8 months of preparations and development of a communications campaign and provides businesses enough time to switch suppliers and prepared for enforcement of the bylaw. A note here that we have received letters of support and pledged communication resources from several agencies within the region, including the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve, Tourism Tofino, Tofino Chamber of Commerce, Surf Rider Canada and the local chapter, and letters of support from local First Nations. So in all regulatory bylaws in Tofino, when those are updated, we also report updates from 2 other bylaws, one including the municipal ticket information bylaw, and one is the notice and dispute adjudication bylaw. So tonight I'll be seeking authorization from council to amend those bylaws to include this prohibition regulation, including fee schedules and updates. And a note here for enforcement at the District of Tofino with these bylaws. Our primary goal is to seek voluntary compliance first and work with businesses to guide them into compliance. And with that, I will leave you with the recommendation on the table. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Well, this is really exciting. Council, questions? Mr. McCall.
Thank you. I was just wondering if, okay, so we've done, this would we would do 1 liter or less for water bottles. What would it take to include like pop bottles of the same size?
Thank you for the question, Councilor Sullivan through the chair. So yes, it's within council's authority to add an additional motion to direct staff to go and do that work. It would require a similar process to the one outlined tonight. So it would be an amendment 0.03, and that amendment would seek 3 readings from council, and then after 3rd reading, go to the minister again for approval.
Questions, further questions, comments from council? Councilor Steer.
Yeah, I was gonna make the motion if I could, but I'd love to make a comment first then.
This is comment.
Thank you. The minister thanked the District of Tofino, and I'd like to, we have a representation here, but Surfrider for the initial work. It really needs to be acknowledged, the work that Surfrider has done on this to initiate and support this bylaw from beginning to end. And as we can see, right to the very bitter, and it is historic in many ways. So I really want to thank Surfrider from the District of Tofino. So.
Councilor Anderson?
Yeah, in your presentation, there were exemptions for multiples and flats, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Because I don't see that in the body of the bylaw, so. Addendum that I missed.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor Anderson, through the chair. So staff wrote the bylaw to mimic the provincial regulation, and the province defines their single-use plastics regulation with exemptions for multiples. So you'll see packages of plastic straws or a box of plastic bags that are for sale. But if you're purchasing them one at a time or handing them out one at a time, that's where the regulation specifies. So staff chose to mimic that that similar recommendation from the province. So plastic bottles, while sold in flats, are exempt from this bylaw.
Just to clarify, Mr. McCall, just to follow up on Councillor Anderson's comment, that is implied, is that right? Councillor Anderson is not in there.
Yes, it's in our definitions how we also define single-use plastics. So, yeah.
Questions? Okay, further comments? Seeing none, Councillor Steer.
Thank you. That the District of Tofino Single-Use Item Regulation Amendment Bylaw number 1277-02 2024 be adopted.
Seconder. Sloman, in favor. None opposed, motion carried.
And that staff be authorized to prepare amendments to District of Tofino Municipal Ticket Information System Bylaw number 1088 2009 and District of Tofino Bylaw Notice Enforcement and Dispute Adjudication System Bylaw number 1107 2009 to include provisions for plastic bottles 1 liter and less for council's consideration.
Second by Councilor Master. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried.
And finally, that staff be authorized to develop and implement a communications and education campaign pertaining to single-use item regulation amendment bylaw number 1277-02 2024.
Seconded by Councillor Thomas. Just all in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. Yes, welcome. Okay, excellent. Moving on. No bylaws, no unfinished business. Item 13, business initiated by council members. Do we have committee external appointment verbal reports? See you later. From council members. Councillor Anderson.
Yeah, just a little bit of an update. You saw earlier on the agenda the minutes from the Public Art Advisory Committee. That we went through a process to choose an artist for a mural on skate park and pickleball courts on some of the concrete walls there. Anyways, we went through a 2-stage process and we ended up not selecting an artist, although we had narrowed it down to 3. The final submissions didn't quite capture what we were looking for Tofino. So we're going to be going back into some discussions to find a way to keep that mural process happening. So we were trying to do it in time for this season to be able to be completed. So it'll probably push the project back a whole year because we need good weather to do the painting or to have the painting done. So that's what's happening with the mural project.
Excellent. Good. Any other committee, external appointment reports? Nothing. Okay, all right, moving on then. Question period. Ms. Larson, Mr. McCall.
Thank you, Mayor. I will now do an open call for questions to both members of the gallery present and those participating online. For those in the gallery who wish to speak, please raise your hand. If there's anyone attending online via Zoom that would like to ask a question, you can do so now using the Q&A function. Before asking a question, you will need to state your name, your address, the agenda item you're speaking to. I'll now do a call. Calling once. Calling twice. Calling 3 times. No questions at this time, Mayor Law.
All right. Moving on to recommendation moving to close, which I will do from the chair. I move that the meeting be closed, the public participant section 91 AGI and 92B of the charter discuss matters relating to personal information for an individual for a position as an officer employer agent, litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality, repeated advice that is subject to switch to client privilege, including communications necessary for the purpose, the consideration of information received and held in confidence relating to negotiations with the municipality and a provincial government or the federal government or both, or between the provincial government and the federal government or both, and a third party sector. Thank you, Councilor Stevens. All in favor? None opposed, motion is carried. So we'll move into, take 5 minutes and move into close.